The Indiana Fever is America's team, and by the time this season is over, the haters will have already exploded and will be furious. It will be hilarious to watch the daily meltdown history be rewritten, and if you guessed that Caitlin Clark is the reason, you're 100% correct, because she and the Indiana Fever have broken yet another record. This one might hurt Angel Reese a little more, but I'm trying to give myself some grace because I know I'm not the player I want to be just yet, but I'm still doing great, and we're not talking about a fluke. It's no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It's good for the entire league. Caitlin Clark didn't come to blend in. Instead, she came to rearrange the furniture while she's stacking record after record. The Indiana Fever have officially become America's sweetheart team, not a rising contender, not improving, not plucky underdog America's team, and this isn't ESPN fluff. These are hard numbers in sold-out arenas screaming what the league can no longer pretend to ignore. It's great news for women's basketball, period. Struggling to maintain a last-ditch full-court defense against reality, but the catch is that denial doesn't negate demand. The more they pout, the more brightly Clark and the Fever shine. WNBA attendance reached a 20-year high with a total of 3 million fans attending games. You know what? The attendance increased by 48% between 2024 and 2023. That's the Caitlin Clark effect phenomenon. And if Caitlin Clark gets hurt, it's over with Tom. All of you WNBA players should hope she stays healthy because she's keeping your league afloat. Let's talk about the numbers. 41 out of 44 games are airing. The recent announcement that 41 of the 44 Indiana Fever games will be broadcast nationally is not a quirk of the schedule. Rather, it is a purposeful broadcast coronation. I don't think many people realize how big that is. It's something that WNBA players, media, and fans have been pleading for years. That movement isn't temporary, it's a full-blown revolution, and the Fever are leading it. Caitlin Clark didn't just elevate a team, she made Indiana the hub of women's basketball, and the media can't get enough. Everything points to one person, Caitlin Clark, the people's champion. Let's face it, it was just announced that Caitlin Clark and the Fever will be playing 41 of 44 games this year on national television. They are coming to watch the other girl, right? Right, teams are moving their games with the Fever to NBA arenas in order to increase ticket sales. How about that? But Angel Reese tried a three-point shot that was so deep that I think she might dislocate her shoulder. You want some butter with that bread? Butter for Ron. Mostly ignored by the league's own marketing, but now they're the main event. The reason for this is that Caitlin Clark's presence transformed the Fever from a filler to a front page, from bottom feeders to sellout stars. Whether she's playing in Indiana or anywhere else, fans are crammed into the stands for this season's broadcast. Oh, we're playing a doubleheader with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. They meet in the season opener against the Indiana Fever, so it's no surprise that they have the most games available for you to watch on a national level. If you think that doesn't bother a certain Angel Reese, think again. 6 opposing teams have had to upgrade their arenas just to host her, and teams like Chicago, Dallas, and Connecticut are forgoing their regular courts in favor of WNBA venues because Clark's drawing crowds too large to fit in their standard spots. This is followed by the Aces 33, the champion Liberty, and 41 of our 44 games are on national television, the most television games in franchise history, and the most national television games for a single team in WNBA history. I'm sure this is due to Angel Reese calling her name unless Caitlin is also on the floor, but it's not just the seats, it's the screens. The Fever are dominating the league in terms of national TV appearances, not just more than usual, but more than the reigning champions. Clark isn't just driving storylines, she's driving broadcast lineups. This isn't gifted coverage, it's earned with numbers, performance, charisma, and clout. Caitlin Clark's actions don't diminish what they've accomplished, but we should have given her the credit. We saw the ratings, the merchandise sales, and the attendance. But you guys want to focus on something else. Oh, what about the women? That set the stage. But what about this that has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark? Caitlin Clark is doing this for the box office, and instead of giving her credit, you guys tried to make it about the old guard. You guys never talk about the old guard like this, so I won't let it go. Let's face it, TV executives don't schedule based on fairness. They schedule based on dollars, and Caitlin Clark doesn't just boost ratings, she obliterates them. She's a walking walking WNBA stimulus plan, so it's no wonder that every network is vying for her matches like it's Black Friday and they're out of flat screens. Thinking about hurting people's feelings, these networks are considering how much money they can make. They are even debating who was the league's Rookie of the Year last year. Delusional people need to realize that she saved the league from going bankrupt. There are no TV deals, ad sponsorships, or even shoe deals for you, Angel Reese or McDonald's money. She saved them from going bankrupt. Now is the time to be thankful. For example, last year, some random regular season fever games drew more viewers than the WNBA finals. Let's not just raise the fever, that kind of pull lifts the entire league, with everyone attempting to downplay the wave that was occurring, the Clark-conomics that were occurring, the Caitlin Clark effect that was occurring, and realizing that it would be beneficial not only for this Indiana Fever team but also for every single player and team in the WNBA, including the Chicago Sky, Aces, and Liberty. Because let's face it, Angel Reese and the gang aren't pulling those numbers on their own. When the Fever rolls in, they're on national TV, the arena is packed, and the sponsors are engaged. So while busy liking content on Twitter, Shady posts that she might want to keep in mind who made that spotlight bright enough for her to stand in the Liberty and Aces versus Aces matchup here 3 times. All 3 of those are on ABC and ESPN. The Fever and the Sky, they meet 5 times. Caitlin Clark, the Reamp Fever, they look to build on their success. 6 teams have switched venues when the Indiana Fever come to play, and all of these arenas are selling out. Let's just call it that. Caitlin Clark is dragging the league's visibility like it's her carry-on bag. The league knows it, the fans know it, even the envious ones like Reese who act indifferent. One of her games is broadcast worldwide because regardless of whether you're a fervent fan, a loud critic, or someone who hates and denies what you're watching, Clark is the main event. At this point, we're not even talking about hoops anymore. This is big league business. The WNBA spent decades trying to gain mainstream recognition and figure out how to generate steady viewers and revenue, but Caitlin Clark showed up and broke the mold with a step-back 3. They're upset that she didn't play in that league and want you fans to leave the league so they can get more money. While this is going on, the Indiana Fever are putting every game on TV for Caitlin Clark because everyone wants to watch her. They want to do everything in their power to prove that they deserve better and make money. One of the worst WNBA fans and one of CC's biggest haters is already complaining that they don't enjoy basketball at all and only want to support Reese. As I mentioned earlier, the majority of her fans aren't basketball fans, so let's talk numbers because Clark turned them into a cheat code. The Indiana Fever were once the NBA's forgotten stepchild, hanging around but rarely being selected for anything significant. We're talking about a team that couldn't draw 880,000 fans just a year ago, but now they're the hottest ticket in all of women's sports. Last season alone, the Fever brought in over 340,000 fans at home, a 39% increase compared to the ghost town that was 2023. The wildest part of this explosion is that it's not just in Indiana. More people are joining the cause. More people are watching women's basketball, more people are watching women's college basketball, and the momentum isn't slowing down because of ego. The league's remaining 400 to 500,000 teams are frantically upgrading to NBA arenas and abandoning their small home gyms in order to accommodate the Clark crowds. The Chicago Sky is booking the United Center. The Dallas Wings are requesting favors at the Mavs Arena. Atlanta is moving into State Farm Arena, Connecticut. They said forget Mohan's son, and they snatched a spot at Tea Garden like they were getting ready for a Celtics game. These aren't upgrades, they're evacuations because Caitlin Clark doesn't bring games. She's give me Angel Reese, give me Caitlin Clark, because this has been a box office success for all the young guns. The young stars have come to play Angel at unrivaled training with Lisa Leslie and Caitlin, and we all know that girl. She lives, breathes, eats, and sleeps in the gym. I am very excited to see those two because honestly, whenever they face off, the entire world shuts down. Some people call this hype, but the wiser ones call it what it is. Economics. Hosting the Fever is like landing a golden goose in a jersey, and more fans, merchandise, and concession stand snacks all add up to more money. Clark isn't just growing the game. The Indiana Fever went from being a regional trivia answer to one of the highest grossing franchises in women's sports because of Caitlin Clark, who is now not just a player but also a brand with a jump shot. She is funding the future of the league, and every team cashing in on her appearances owes her a thank you note and a bonus check. 6 WNBA networks set ratings records this season, and her 23 WNBA games drew over 1 million viewers. Clark participated in 20 of those games, and her jersey outsold the entire rest of the league combined. Half of the WNBA's national TV revenue came from games alone. Last season, one rookie, one team league attendance increased by 48%, and more WNBA games reached the 1 million viewer mark in 2024 than in the previous 20 years combined. The common thread is Caitlin freaking Clark. The WNBA draft and the All-Star game broke their viewership records, with Caitlin Clark, the Diana Taurasi draft, drawing 600,000 viewers, making it the most watched draft ever. Following the draft, ticket sales quadrupled, and Washington and Indiana set the single-game attendance record of 20711 on September 19th at Capital One Arena. The WNBA's average attendance last year was up 48% to 987 fans, and remember that it was actually one person who brought those 3,000 fans on average. This is exactly what fans pleaded for, and now that it's happening, some people are uncomfortable and wonder why. It could be because Clark didn't just join the league, she took over the spotlight and hasn't returned it. Caitlin Clark's schedule for the Indiana Fever has been released, and we now know how many national games they have. The Indiana Fever is America's team, and the old WNBA fans are furious, angry, crying, and of course, naturally, when someone dominates this much, the Shade Brigade steps in and starts the drama. Since draft night, we've been indoctrinated into believing that this is the next big thing, and every Fever versus Sky matchup serves as a pretext for the networks to play the tension music. However, let's face it, this isn't a rivalry, rather it's a soap opera. Caitlin is making history by changing the league's economics, and Angel is causing drama with ambiguous tweets, side-eye interviews, and enough passive aggression to fill a Real Housewives reunion. The Atlanta Dream owner claimed that they were moving venues only due to scheduling conflict. It wasn't because the Indiana A Fever was coming to town, like they made up some strange excuse. Boycott watching the Indiana A Fever games. If you don't care about anyone else, you're only doing that. While the media tried to force the feed of fake rivalry, Caitlin Clark didn't bite. Unlike a certain bricklayer, we know she's here to be the best. She's not auditioning for reality TV, no backhanded interviews, no sub-tweets, and just buckets, records, and TV checks with extra zeros. While some players are busy making fun of her, Clark is chasing greatness and spoilers, and what's killing me is that the fans are demanding that these players earn more money, but they don't want to support the player who's making that money. They can't stand her, which is why we watched the poor young woman get destroyed last year. Moreover, let's talk about that dusty, overhyped argument that people still say she's only famous because the media pushed her, because as far as we can tell, Caitlin didn't gravel for 41 national broadcasts, despite pleas from fans who made that decision on their own, and she didn't storm the front offices of other teams demanding arena upgrades. The spotlight followed Clark, who didn't ask for it. This is the national broadcast schedule against Sky. It's an ABC broadcast network television game against the New York Liberty. It's a CBS game. These are all going to be high-rated games. Here's Asia. Here's the Aces on 622 against ESPN. Here's the Dallas Wings. All of the Indiana Fever versus Sky games are on big networks. One of these games is expected to reach 3 million viewers this year, and worse, some people still refuse to give her credit, despite the avalanche of success, putting money in each player's pocket, making the WNBA visible to teams that couldn't afford a camera crew before she came, and bringing the league into the public eye, all of which are well-deserved, while Angel Reese is ranting about salaries. Let's take a moment to consider the irony that whether you like the Indiana Fever or not, or whether you like Caitlin Clark, we can no longer ignore the fact that they are the biggest STW
W in the WNBA, and they proved it throughout the previous season. Make no mistake, this backlash isn't about basketball, fairness or bruised egos. Caitlin Clark has taken over the WNBA, and some people can't handle the fact that she did it without the drama, without the antics, and without the old guard's approval. Instead of celebrating the moment, some would prefer to watch it burn by watching games near the foundation. We got an article from Front Off Sports about 6 WNBA teams playing against Caitlin Clark in the Fever. The Atlanta Dream moved 1 game to the State Farm Arena. The Chicago Sky moved 2 games. The Connecticut Sun moved 1 game to TD Garden, and the Dallas Wings have 1 game moved to American Airlines Center, and the Las Vegas Aces have moved 1 game, and the Mystics have 2 games left. But guess what? It doesn't matter how many think pieces are written, how many jealous jabs are thrown from the sidelines, and Caitlin Clark is here. She's not just changing the league, she's burning it down. The debate is over, the receipts are printed, and Clark isn't a breakout star anymore. She's the face of a new era. The Indiana Fever, please, aren't a team anymore. They're the league's biggest draw, and America's team, all because of one rookie. Walked in like she owned the place, and then showed that she did. The Indiana Fever will have more nationally televised games this season than the previous 2. The Indiana Fever are America's team, so they get the most airtime. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is stacking milestones like it's light work. But wait, Angel Reese is stacking something too. All the bricks she's laying across the backboard won't change what's happening. Clark is writing the playbook, dominating the headlines, and bringing the WNBA into its golden age. Whether the old guard likes it or not, this ride is just getting started. Are you excited for the upcoming season? Let us know in the comments, like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the video on the screen to see how high this can go. If Caitlin Clark's rookie impact is just the beginning, we might be witnessing the greatest era the WNBA has ever seen. I'll see you at the following one.